Merry meet and welcome to our stream, everybody. This is Ariel Gatoka, and we are streaming live on YouTube and on Twitch for a general reading for today, the 26th of July, 2023. Moderating today on YouTube is the lovely Suzanne, and moderating on Twitch is the lovely Diane. Thank you so much, moderators, and thank you to everybody for joining us. If you happen to be watching on YouTube on a restream, you can fast forward through all the shuffling I'm about to do by using the timestamps in the video description. Today I'm reading with this lovely Tarot de Maria Celia, and I'm going to purify with this Roger and Gallet Extra Vieille, one of the oldest eau de cologne still being produced. 3 sprays in this room. You can find information to purchase those products in the video description of this video on my YouTube channel. General reading for all signs for today, the 26th of July, going out to a lot of people. So if for some reason it doesn't seem to make any sense to you, just disregard it. It's probably not meant for you in that case. And if that happens, check out the zodiacal readings for your own individual sun sign, rising sign, and or moon sign, all of which are available very easily for restream on my website, ariels-corner.com, Ariel's Corner with a hyphen.com. Just click on the free tarot readings link in the main menu. I don't read with card reversals, so don't worry about that. You'll see me flipping those cards right side up. It's how I like to read the tarot cards. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. And if you're watching on Twitch, make sure you follow us on Twitch. You can watch on Twitch without ads by subscribing to us there. On your screen, you'll see URLs for our PayPal portal if you'd like to give us a donation, to our shop if you'd like to support us. We make a small commission off of each and every sale there, and also to our website where you can find all of the free things that we offer. Everything at Ariel's Corner is free of charge. If you'd like to donate while you're watching on YouTube, you could do that by using a super sticker or super chat if you're live, or a super thanks if you're on a restream. We do appreciate your support, but mostly what we appreciate is that you're here today. And so I think we're pretty shuffled. So I'm going to shuffle maybe once or twice more just for good measure. And we'll give this deck a nice clean cut and see what's in the cards for everybody today. The 26th of July, 2023. All right, let's take a look, shall we? We have the Strength card, we have the 9 of Coins, and we have the Page of Coins. Very, very nice. Strength means that you're recently being courageous about looking at things about yourself that may not be comfortable to look at. You know, a lot of times when we talk about shadow work and people get all, oh yes, embrace your shadow and all of that. Well, that's true, but it's easier said than done. And I think a lot of people play lip service to that. And some of you have actually been doing that. So good for you, because it's not easy to look within and see things about yourself that you didn't really notice. When I was just going through that last night, I was looking at a few of the things about myself, and I thought, wow, I'm not, I'm obviously not done here. I have some work to do on myself. And, you know, if you don't do that, though, then those things just go unchecked, right? It's like when somebody told me they were so embarrassed when they heard their speaking voice on recording. Like, oh, I'm so embarrassed. I can't believe it. I just don't want to sound like that. I just don't want anybody to hear that. I said, everybody's been hearing that your whole life. You're the last person to figure this out, that that's how you sound. And it's fine. You sound just fine. It's just, you're not used to that. You didn't realize that's how you sound. And the same thing goes with us. When we look at ourselves sometimes and we see ourselves in ways that may not feel so flattering, it's not so much that we're learning something that wasn't there. It's just that we're feeling safe enough to see ourselves more objectively, right? And infinite intelligence has always known that we had these problems. So when we start to look at ourselves more clearly, it gives us strength, because then we're able to integrate those parts of ourselves. So good for you. Now, this 9 of Coins talks about the the release of a lot of that toxicity that you've been carrying around because you haven't been willing to look at yourself. That release makes you more magnetic to your good. And there's very practical benefits for doing this kind of work that many of you have been doing. Some of you have been doing like shadow work on purpose, and others it's just been sort of spontaneous. It doesn't matter, because as you release some of those judgments and some of those qualities about yourself that you were sort of locked into that you didn't realize, you become more magnetic to your good. And that's what this 9 is all about. This 9 of coins is really allowing yourself to be a magnet for all of that. It's showing up as prosperity here, but any kind of good circumstance in your life. Then this page of coins is talking about all the good news that's on its way to you, especially in regards to, well, it says prosperity, but let's look at prosperity as being money, yes, but also many other things. Peace of mind, health of body, full self-expression, joy, happiness, all of those things. So there's good news coming, but you wouldn't have been able to, that news was always available to you, but you wouldn't have been able to understand it or even listen to it had you not been going through what you've been going through, this period of self-reflection and realizing that there were parts of you that need some release, that need some love, that need some work. And so good for you. This is good. 6 of Cups, and you haven't been going through this unattended. The 6 is that solar light. That solar light is that reorganizing force in the universe. And you have 2 of them, two solar light cards, so it's very prevalent. And that reorganizing force is a type of salvation that they talk about in angelic magic and in the Pauline arts. And salvation doesn't always mean the same thing to a magician as it does to a religious person. Salvation means the solving of problems. Right, so it's the power of the sun is a symbol of that ability to do for us what we cannot do for ourselves, and you've got a lot of that going on. So whatever you've been going through, whatever that self-reflection that you've been going through, some of those maybe even scary things that you've been noticing about yourself, it's all under supervision. And you need to be going through this, and it's guided, and you're being led, and all is well, and you're going to come out of the other side of this so happy and so prosperous. Call on that solar light. Call on that. Do if you know how to do that solar light meditation, you can do that. If you don't know how, you can. I have 2 examples of it on my YouTube channel, a very short one and a pretty short one. So you can just search on YouTube for Gatoga Solar Light, and you'll find a solar light lecture and 2 solar light meditations. Since it's so prevalent in this reading, it's something that I would recommend that you investigate. And as you are aligning with this power that is that reorganizing force, remember what it's doing. It's reorganizing you to the divine design of your life. And the divine design of your life is also called heaven in the Psalms. I mean, heaven is not a place. It's a state wherein everything is perfect, permanently perfect. And the way that everything is permanently perfect is not after a specific amount of time or when you go into a specific body or a specific place. It's an awareness. It's an awareness. And for those of you who are familiar with A Course in Miracles, it calls heaven a choice. A choice. So we are making the choice to look at those parts of ourselves which are blocking our experience of our oneness with this solar light, with our divine purpose. And in being willing to look at those things, we're being willing to allow this solar light to remove those on our behalf so that our divine design is reflected in our lives. And that brings us only prosperity, only joy. And then this says that there's a lot of help coming your way as well. And it's very practical. That's the other thing that I want to talk about here, is the kind of work that many of you are doing may seem, when I talk about it, very sort of lofty and spiritual, which it is, but the results are very practical. You should see an improvement in your career, an improvement in your money, an improvement in your health, an improvement in your relationships. You know, very, very practical results coming from this process of being willing to call on that higher power that is the divine design, and with it present in your mind, turn and look at some of those parts of yourself that have yet to be healed, and not feeling overwhelmed by them. Sometimes when we look into our dark side, into the darkness of ourselves, we feel like that it's this endless abyss of fear and unworthiness. And there's so much of ourselves that we feel guilty about, or that we feel not good enough about, we feel inadequate. And if we really are to completely look at that stuff without flinching, for a moment it's extremely scary. For a moment it just seems like, oh, I'm an awful person. But you're not. That's just gunk on the surface, because if you get underneath it, you realize none of that stuff is real. The only thing true about you is that you are exactly as you were created, a bright, beautiful light, beloved by your Creator, and in whom your Creator is very well pleased, as the saying goes. And so there's nothing that you can do to change that. Imagine if you have a little puppy or a little baby, a little somebody, a little something that's so cute, but is constantly, if it's a puppy, constantly chewing your favorite stuff, or if it's a little kid, constantly soiling things, constantly breaking things. It's maybe being a toddler now, and it's always breaking things and getting into trouble. You don't hate the kid. You don't hate the puppy, right? You deal with that behavior. It's just a phase, and you love it. And you think it's just the best thing in the universe. Now imagine a perfect parent, which is what you have, how they would feel about you. There's nothing you could do. There's nothing that you could have done in your past to make that power anything but beam with happiness about you. Okay? So remember that. The only reason I'm going into that is because this can be so scary. This can be so scary to look at yourself and to try to see, because it's so courageous to say, okay, I'm going to look at the dark side. I'm going to look at it. It's just like, oh my God, I'm awful. I'm a horrible, evil, awful person. And you have to recognize that that's just step one. There's something underneath that, which is the truth, not the story of that I'm such a horrible person, right? So you got to get underneath it. You call on that solar light, and you remember that there's nothing that you could have ever done in your past that infinite intelligence will hold against you. Nothing. All right. So accepting that help as it comes your way today, accepting the good news as it comes your way today, accepting all of the prosperity that's coming your way today, and recognizing that the reason why all of this is happening is because you're willing to look at yourself more objectively and allow that higher power to come in and heal you and release you from so many of those evil thought forms that you have been thinking about yourself for so long, and letting it go. And today's the day. And isn't that exciting? So you can do this. Call on that solar light. Allow yourself to be willing to look at the stuff that you might have been flinching away from looking at about yourself, and realizing that underneath all of that stuff is where the true power is. And that's your soul. And your soul is exactly as it was created, and there's nothing you can do or could have ever done to change that. All right, you're doing great today. I will see you all tomorrow for another reading. Thank you so much to the amazing moderators, Suzanne and Diane, and we will see you all tomorrow. Blessed be.